Hello, hello. Welcome to Juhl Media live interview program. My name's Ching Juhl. Since the pandemic lockdown, we have hosted more than 220 episodes. Today, my guest is George Lange, amazing photographer. George Lange is a photographer whose images have appeared on movie posters, billboards, and in almost every major magazine. So find out who George is. Here we go. Let's welcome George. Hi, George. How are
Hi,
you?
Ching. I'm
Where are
good.
you, George?
I am out in the country outside of Pittsburgh. I
Awesome.
brought my son to be in the park, and he's out with his friends, and we're here on this porch.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for being with us and being with me. And do you still remember how you and I met?
I think it was at my studio, but your son Sean and I had talked about you, and I really wanted to meet you. So I had been bugging him to meet you.
Thank you so much. I'm honored. I'm honored. Yeah. So, yeah, I remember first time I met you. First of all, I knew you through your work because you took pictures for Pittsburgh Symphony members. And then I was like, who is this guy? Took so many wonderful pictures. And then the next thing I know is when I was visiting Sean, and Sean said, we have a party tonight to go. Oh, of course. So, anyway, so tell us a little bit about yourself first. In terms of being a photographer, amazing photographer. I guess you are more or less a portrait type of photographer. And how did all these photographer gene came from?
Well, there's the DNA genes, and then there's my genes that all got ruined from photochemicals when I was at art school that I kept as artifacts of my time in the darkroom. Before I left art school, I went to Rhode Island School of Design. I took all my jeans and I hung them up and did portraits of them because they all had these photochemical stains,
Yeah,
and then I
smell
could throw
bad.
them out once I had a photograph of them. And it's kind of like my whole life. I don't have a great memory, so I've always taken photographs so I can remember things, and then I don't have to. You, don't you feel like we have internal hard drives? And if your hard drive gets full, then you can't remember anything. So I try and just live in the moment. And when I have things, I take pictures of them, and then I can let go of the memory because I have it. I have it as a photograph.
So you must started with these old ways, right? The real film and taking pictures. And then how do you transition to film and now become these digital stuff? And do you have a difficult time to transfer or to change the concept?
Right. Well, film was a very good discipline, but it was very hard to use. It was fragile. You could only have one copy. So if anything happened, if you spilled coffee on your film, it was gone forever. Um, and also there's so much more flexibility using digital. You can change things afterwards. You can see things differently. I was a very early adapter with digital, and I just think it's an incredible tool. So when film was the only thing around, that was great. Between film and digital photography, music got digitized. So I was like listening to music digitally. I could take pictures digitally. And
Yeah,
then
that's wonderful.
the
Go ahead.
first digital camera that I used was actually made by Kodak. And Kodak was
Mm.
basically put out of business by digital photography, but they had one of the best medium format cameras when it started, and then they didn't follow up with that.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. I feel sorry for, many businesses because the changing of media, because the changing of, say, post office, they lose revenues because people are now sending things, right? Too much using US post office, right? And there's
Right,
many
right.
different ways of delivering things. And so many different businesses lost their work or their business, and because the different era, we are in a different era of living. So tell us a little bit about how you became a photographer. I still want to know, like what takes you to take pictures, and how did you go to school to learn it, or you just did it yourself?
Well, there's a picture of me in my driveway when I was about 7 years old, and there's a camera around my neck, and I'm leaning against an old white Chevy car. And in my mind, I've been taking pictures every day since that picture. So my whole life, I've just been taking pictures. And the funny thing is, I don't love photography that much, but I love the process of uh, meeting the people that I meet and getting to take the kind of pictures that I get to take. But it's all about these experiences that I have, mostly with strangers. When I met Sean, your son, I had never met him. I mean, it was our first time meeting, and we were taking pictures. And it's a funny that I'm comfortable meeting strangers and
Mhm.
having this experience. It's generally very fast. It's very loud. The music is loud. There's a lot of energy, and then it's over. But we have this incredible experience.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit, Pittsburgh Symphony, how'd you get involved and how'd you get the gig? Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to meet you.
I know. That's how we got to meet. My son, who was just here, he said, it makes me crazy how random it is that I exist. That you met, that I met Steffi, my wife, his mother, and that all these things happened. And he came out and there's Jackson. But he said, if you wouldn't have gone to that dinner that one night and met Steffi, I wouldn't exist. That makes him crazy. And if I hadn't have met Sean, and Sean was so charming and awesome, Sean was at the first shooting I did for the Pittsburgh Symphony. My cousin Jody was in charge of fundraising for the symphony. And when I moved back to Pittsburgh, she told them, "Oh, you should use my cousin George. He's in town now, and he's a really good photographer." They were using a photographer who was very good from Chicago, but I wanted to be the local photographer. It's funny seeing all these pictures go by, and I go and I'm forced to shoot with this backdrop that they've had painted in Italy. It's a very very classic backdrop, dark backdrop, and they want me to use this certain style of light. And so those are givens. Now, what am I going to do with the musician who I've never met before? And I've never really photographed classical music before, classical musicians. I've done a little bit, but not that much. And there's Sean. He's 22 years old. He's the youngest member of the Pittsburgh Symphony. And he's coming to this shooting thinking, he's told me this since, this is going to be boring. I'm going to play a little bit. They'll take some pictures. I'll look at the camera and that'll be it. Well, he starts getting his makeup done, and Sean is so beautiful. You know that, being his mom, but he's so beautiful that I start taking pictures. I can't even wait till he walks on the set. I go take pictures of him having his makeup done. And I'm photographing reflections of him in the makeup mirror that are interesting, but then I pull back and I realize the architecture in this room, and he's backlit, is spectacular. So I wind up with these great pictures of Sean before he even steps on the set. And he comes on and he has his white bow tie and his shirt that pretty much fits, but not quite. And he looks beautiful, but he's sitting there and he's not that interested in this process. He's looking at me like he's going to test me. He's going to test me. Who is this guy? So he starts looking at me and playing his instrument. And I said, pretend that my camera is a mirror and fix your tie in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't expect that. And he starts fixing his tie, and that picture is interesting. And then he starts playing, and I don't know where this idea came from, but I said, stab my lens.
Mm.
And Sean goes, I can't do that. I go, why not? He says, a very expensive bow and you have a very expensive lens. I can't stab your lens. And I go, Sean, stab lens. And I actually grabbed his bow and like tapped it against the lens a little. And then he got the idea and we took this picture. And the moment, which was not planned, which I have no clue where the idea came from, that moment, we set the standard for all the pictures that I was going to do for the Pittsburgh Symphony. It was dynamic. It was alive. It was different than most classical musician portraits that you see. And it was very, he was in my face. He was this far away. And most of the times, even with the conductors you only see from behind, except when they walk out and when they leave. The musicians, most of them, when you're at a concert, they're like buried in the crowd. Like it's very hard to see Sean at a concert unless you're up above. If you're in the orchestra, it's hard to see him. So getting that intimate with the musicians is a very special thing. It's a very special place to be in. And when I create a place where they can trust me, and my job is to be trustworthy and to say, let's have this adventure, let's have this experience together. It's about the experience. It's not so much about the photography. Photography winds up being an artifact of our experience.
Yeah, I noticed you have a way of drawing the best out of people, and you make them very comfortable. You just keep talking. You don't just say, like 1, 2, 3 or something. Oh, look at me or whatever. Right?
But I also never. I rarely look at my camera. Like a lot of photographers take a picture and then look and take a picture and look, and I rarely do that because I'm not that interested in that. I'm interested in this.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. So now I wanted to play. I finally, when I met you last year in your studio, I was holding my iPhone. I'm always shooting, right? So I shot here and shot there, shot here, shot there. It was like, thank you for letting me. And I keep putting up to make a video because I didn't think I had enough material to tell a story about you. But then I revisited again, and I thought I can make a short story about this visiting, right? It's almost like what do you call people of law. It's because I am in it a lot. I'm not in it that much, but my voice is in it a lot. So can we share that?
Let's just set it up. This was a night at my studio where we had an open studio, and I had gone and gotten 2 crates of ripe peaches, and I was photographing people with this ring light eating peaches. So that's what was going on.
So delicious. Go ahead.
No, that was it. So
that's
so
it?
then
that's just okay. So
then this makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So here is I just want to make sure you guys can see it. Sometimes I start to play things and people cannot see it. So here we go. Let me make it larger. Okay. So this is just kind of randomly first time I met George. It was no planned. I just shoot and then edited actually yesterday into a 4-minute thing. So right now is a little slow right now. Sometimes I don't know if that's a StreamYard problem or it's a YouTube problem. You see, is it
so this is at my studio in the Garfield section of Pittsburgh on Penn Avenue. What happened is the symphony said you have to use our very classic Italian background. And so I started playing, and it was too classic. It was too normal. And I said, poke my lens with your bow. This is the story that I've been telling. And so Sean got his bow close to my lens. I said, no, hit my lens with your bow. It is so
engaging
in your face. It's so, but I like to use my camera as a mirror and say, pretend it's a mirror. I don't know if I did that with you, but so pretend it's a mirror and just fix yourself. And just eat it. Yeah. Good. How does that look?
Looks very provocative.
Did she say provocative?
Provocative.
Oh, provocative. I know. Well, you know, you just moved here. Good, good. That's good. Beautiful. Yes. Oh, see?
We got two directors in the
good
house.
idea. Beautiful. In profile. Ah. Okay, all of Pittsburgh's going to want to know you. You're going to be very popular when you come back.
That's great. That's great.
This is a whole new career you have now. A peach model. What do you do? No, I do not model with plums. I only do peaches.
So you're like a little bit, not only you're a photographer, you're like an installation artist.
Some of these ideas, but some of these ideas are so simple. Like these guys, this is Jimmy Buffett and Warren Buffett, and they're dressing up as each other. You know, that's the teeniest idea ever. This is Matt Groening, who created The Simpsons. And I went to photograph him, and I saw this mask laying around the Paramount lot. I put it on the back of his head, and I said, draw on the wall.
Oh my
Sophia
God.
Loren, the actress.
How did you make her?
I had an assignment to photograph her. She comes, wraps herself in a towel, gets a glass of wine, does her own hair and makeup. This, I photographed, this is the only posed picture of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates together.
Oh gosh.
I had photographed, got a book with the Muppets the day before shooting Jerry Seinfeld, and it was Kermit coming through paper.
Oh my God.
And I didn't have a good idea, so I stole my idea from the Muppets. And
Yes. Wow.
But they're all teeny ideas.
Yeah, no, but it's brilliant.
Like this was on the set of, did you ever see the movie Big Fish? This was on the set of Big Fish down in Alabama. And I'm going through the production offices, which was an old high school.
Yeah.
And there was a door crack, and inside the door was this lion. And I asked if I could use it. I built a 50s style motel room. And we did a Brian sign outside the window.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that takes some time.
That took time.
Yeah.
But that was my second shooting of the day. I shot it at another location.
Yeah.
They had built this. I met him there.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you have Andy Warhol.
Yes, that was my first assignment after working with Liebowitz.
Wow. So when you see your assignment, so at the beginning you work for someone else?
Yes. So I was an apprentice with Annie Liebowitz. Is the voice okay?
Juhl Media.
Why did you agree to do this interview with the BBC?
Wait.
I don't know.
Elon Musk.
That was good.
That was good. Good job.
Oh, thank you. No, you're wonderful. So let's continue. We were talking about Pittsburgh Symphony, and do you have any more stories to tell us? Like, how do you deal with this whole orchestra thing? You have never shoot musicians before.
Right. And they hired me one day to photograph. They wanted a posed picture of the entire orchestra, which is not something I was looking forward to because shooting 80 people at once, they're all little. You're up in the balcony. It's like my whole thing is communicating with my subjects, and I got up there and they're all sitting there on the stage all posed, and I'm going, I don't know what I'm doing here. So I go down to the stage, climb up to where the conductor normally is, and I say to the musicians, I said, when I was about 7 years old, my mother gave me a vinyl record of the Pittsburgh Symphony recording of Beethoven's First Symphony, which I loved. And I played it over and over and over again on my little record player. While I was playing it, I was looking at the cover. And on the back of the cover is a picture of the entire Pittsburgh Symphony taken in the 60s.
Wow.
And it was taken by, it said photo by Ben Spiegel. Ben Spiegel was a trombone player who became the symphony photographer. And I'm telling them this story. And I said, when I looked at this cover, I thought, how did this guy, Ben Spiegel, get the entire Pittsburgh Symphony to pose for him? And here I am all these years later, still trying to solve that problem and still wondering how he got them to do that. And I'm going to run up to the balcony and try and figure it out.
Yeah.
But because I feel like because I connected with them at least a little bit, it changed the feeling of that picture rather than being some anonymous photographer up in the dark in the balcony.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was another
your story has some kind of a connection and musically or historically, right? And
Yeah.
imagely. So there is a connection there. Hopefully you're not just some, freelancer photographer they picked out of the, streets and just come.
I mean, the other thing is my mother loved the symphony. She loved the symphony. She would go there all the time. Whether she had a ticket or not, she would always get in. And she just loved it. And she kind of instilled that love, not only of classical music, but of the symphony with me. And I think she loved the experience as much as the music. Like she just loved being in that room with the audience, with such beautiful sound and everything going on. And she's not around anymore, but when I was taking that picture in the empty Heinz Hall, I felt her there too. Then that was really nice.
So specifically, how did you do it? So you're tall in the balcony. Do you have to use a telelens to make closer because you're too far away?
Right. Not too long a lens.
Okay.
It's not really what I do, a group shot like that. Like that's not my thing. My thing's being very close to the subject. Like
Yeah.
Lots of times I'll hold the subject's hand with one hand and photograph with the other.
Yeah.
I like to be very close and very physical with my subjects.
Yeah.
So that was a hard one. But there was another day that they had a dress rehearsal just for me to photograph. And they never let the photographer roam around the musicians. And they said, you can move, but only when the music stops during the rehearsal. Well, the music never stopped. And I had to find a spot. And I decided I wanted to be near Sean because I wanted to get some good pictures of Sean. But also, I decided to lay right down in front of the conductor because I wanted to see the conductor's face while he was conducting.
Yeah.
And take that in. So I'm there watching Manfred Honeck, and it was absolutely thrilling. It was thrilling. He would reach under the podium when he wanted things to be quiet. He was making sounds and talking, and all this stuff was going on that you never see from the audience.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. The other thing that you don't realize when you're in the audience is how the volume when you're on stage. It's so loud that I was wearing earplugs.
Yes. Yes.
It was wild.
So did you take good shots like in between? Like you cannot take what you want to take picture when they are bowing themselves, right?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
that's not good if you cannot take pictures.
Ching, you want to know? Well, no, I could photograph. I just couldn't move.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't move around. But my greatest fear that day was that I was going to get a bow in my face. That someone was going to stab me because I couldn't take pictures and watch like that I was too close. And I use very short lenses. I don't like to use a telephoto lens at all. So I try and get very, very close.
So do you like it?
It's very dangerous.
Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied?
Well, I don't think they were ever satisfied. But it's funny. When I'm satisfied at the shooting, it's generally not very good. If I leave the shooting feeling like this didn't go that well, generally that means that when I look at the pictures later, they're better than I thought. But if I leave a shooting, that was great. I did such a great job. The subject was great. These are great pictures. Generally, I'm not right.
But the process of, I mean, I have been doing photography every day my whole life. And the process, I do not go around and say, great job, you're really good and all that.
Yeah.
The process is really trying to capture what you're feeling. And more than what I'm seeing. And that is not a linear process. And it's not a process that is like you don't go from you don't have a manuscript, you don't have music that you're reading. Like I don't know where the notes are. And each day in real time, I have to figure out where the notes are and what they're going to sound like, and then translate that into a photograph. And most of the time the process is a struggle, which is fine. Like that's the idea.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Who is that person?
Who is this person? Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your latest project. Is this your second book you're working on right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
The first book was called The Unforgettable Photograph, and it was kind of a little guide to appreciating your life when you're taking pictures. The idea that we're all photographers now, we're all taking pictures, and what can that reveal and what can that teach you, and what are the opportunities around that?
Question: who took this picture?
Actually, I have a new assistant I've been working with named DeAndre.
Oh, okay.
And we set it up one day, and he took this picture. It was modeled after kind of an outtake of a picture of me and an art director, Dan Cavey, that I took several years ago.
Tell us a little bit about the book, the content, how many pictures you intend to. This is called Picturing Joy, Stories of a Connection.
Yes. So this book was based, I left Pittsburgh after high school, and I returned 4 years ago. So there were decades between my living in Pittsburgh. And I had a very happy childhood. And there was a very specific feeling of joy that I had growing up. And it's not the joy that's all smiles and happy, but it's the joy in the way that we connect as human beings. I always got great pleasure and great joy connecting with friends, connecting with my family, connecting with strangers, taking pictures. And then I went out in the world, and unconsciously, I tried to create that feeling of joy that I had as a child every day. But I didn't understand that. I didn't understand it till I moved back to Pittsburgh 4 years ago, that that feeling that I was trying to recreate ran through all of my work, and in fact, all of my life. I feel like it's what we're doing here now too, speaking. So when I discovered that 6 months ago, last year, I started writing about it, and people would say, George, where is your book? So I started trying to take my writing and I created 60 stories from throughout my life that demonstrated this idea. And then I have lots of photographs, and I put photographs with it. And the book just wanted to be out in the world. The book was knocking at my door going, here I am. You need to give me some shape and help me. But when you write a book, it's funny. It's almost like, and I have no hair, so this is a ridiculous analogy, but it's almost like you have a head of tangled hair and you keep combing it and combing it and combing it. And you get the text, the kind of the nugget of each story.
Yes. So tell us a little bit, you are in the process of having a Kickstarter campaign. How do you find it so far? You're doing well, or how the process goes? What's the
when you go? When you go with a Kickstarter, when you go with a Kickstarter, unless you reach your goal, you don't get any of the funds. So
that's terrible.
That's a lot of pressure. So it's a 30-day campaign. We are a little more than halfway there, and I am trying to get people to support the book. This book is it's a hybrid self-publishing model. So I hired a company that helped me edit and design the book, and another company is having it printed and distributing it. And then I'll hire a publicist to help get it out in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And the Kickstarter is to help me fund getting the work out in the world. But it's also funny, you know, when you do a book, the people that have been supporting it are supporting this idea of something that doesn't exist yet, because the book comes out in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
But they're really supporting the work that I've been doing and the work that I've been trying to share with the world my whole career, which is finding ways that we connect through looking for joy inside of everyone. Someone said, well, did you ever not find the joy inside of someone? And no, like, it's inside of all of us. And I just feel like, especially now when the world's so crazy and everyone seems to be like left or right or up or down or at war or so divisive, I feel like my whole body of work is showing how we're all connected and how we can embrace that and believe in that and share love.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So you guys talking to our audience. First of all, I wanted to mention some people here. Thank you guys for always supporting this channel. And Shockfan, Lewis, Steffi is here. Hi. John, Dr. John is here. Sean's dad is here. And In Poo. Hi, In Poo, how are you? So thank you. Yeah. So support if you can. I already did. I bought a book. So
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I think it's not easy. There's a different way of camping, right? Some go-go, there's a called Indiegogo or something, and different from Kickstarter. Yeah, I know Kickstarter, you have to meet the goal, right? So good luck with it. And I was interviewed by someone this morning, a podcast person. He may contact you. I told him about you.
Oh,
And
great.
he's been doing close to 200 episodes of a podcast. So very very dynamic guy. His name is George as well. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
George
By the way, shameless promotion here, but my website is georgelange.com, and if you go to the Kickstarter store, you can go to the Kickstarter, and even if you're getting just a book, it's so helpful right now. The support's really important, and then there are lots of fun rewards you can get. You can get prints, and you can get. Steffi and I worked on a box together where you can pick out a picture, and Steffi designs a T-shirt. You get a signed print and the story of the shooting, and there are lots of fun things up to the George Lange experience, and we do a photo shoot together.
Yeah. So let's see. The link we saw earlier, that's not the Kickstarter.
It should be.
Okay. So the Kickstarter, actually, the link is in the description in YouTube. Okay, underneath here. So
Great.
I can also pull it out. Yeah.
Ching, I did the craziest video for the Kickstarter. If for no other reason, just go and check out.
I want to see it. Yeah.
It's so funny. I was doing these serious scripted videos for the Kickstarter video, and they were just not me. And a friend said, George, you're behind the camera every day. You know how to set up the camera and do this. So just do it. And we set it up, and Nicole from my studio and Becky, and Nicole goes out with a guy, Orion, who's a clown.
Yeah.
And he came to the studio, and we just did the silliest video ever. And it's just, I'm very uncomfortable on the other side of the camera, so that's always been hard for me. But that was great.
Yeah, that's really good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I'm trying to find that link right now. I thought I had it. Maybe
Steffi, maybe you could put the link.
I have it. Yeah. So let me put that link over here. Oh yeah, I just had to click it. Okay. So now I go there and then present. Okay.
This is really embarrassing. This one.
What?
this is embarrassing, but it came out fun.
What's embarrassing? Did you see it now? Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So this is really good because I watched this video. Yeah, I thought it was very charming, very personal, just very creative. So I'm gonna click this. Okay.
Yeah. Hi, I'm George Lange. Welcome to the Kickstarter video for my new book, Picturing Joy.
George, is it a chicken book?
No, it's not a chicken book.
Is it a slinky book?
No, it's not a slinky book. Oh, maybe it's a banana. No, it's not a banana book.
Is it a money book?
It's not a money book, but I need to raise money. Oh, my phone. Hello? Oh, you won't believe what I'm doing. I'm doing the Kickstarter video for my book. I have to raise like $50,000. They've been asking me to write a book, and we just need to kind of get together as a community. No, I'm not doing it in quarters. I would have to roll all those quarters. That would be a mess. Credit cards. Yeah, link below. Right. The money goes to designing the book, editing the book, printing the book. I have a bunch of people helping me. There's indelible editions. There is Good Friday. We have to get a publicist to help get it out in the world. And this book is totally about cutting through everything out there and feeling all the joy that's around us every day and connecting with the joy that's around us. We are going to get joy that's inside of us out in the world so we feel. What is the book? The book is stories, photographs of musicians, directors, Sophia Loren, borscht spoons, dancers, designers, basketball players. I photograph strangers for a living. Every day I meet a stranger and I'm looking for that place that we're all connected. It's all these stories that are trying to get at what connects us all, the joy that connects all of us. Let's see. We have about $1.15. We're on our way. But if you can just hit the link down below, it would be so appreciated and you'll be a part of our content. Wait. There's my friend the baker. There are the kids from the Gambia. There are my mom's in the book.
Oh,
there you have it.
Wow, that's so awesome.
So we are 54% of a goal. We have 2 weeks to go, a little more than 2 weeks to go.
Wow.
So we'll see.
I think you'll make it. How many weeks you have left? 2
weeks.
Okay. So within 2 weeks, you raised 26,000.
24. I have 24. 26 so far. Yeah. A little over 26.
Yeah. So you're halfway. Okay. Yeah. People may hurry up the last minute. Yeah. So you guys give George some money, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask specifically a few questions. Like you have all these, you have strangers and you have regular people, but you have shot so many celebrities. Like, for instance, how did you get the shot with Yo-Yo Ma?
That was, I had a really good friend at People magazine, and she would just give me the most remarkable people to shoot. And she calls me one day and says, do you want to photograph Yo-Yo Ma? I don't know if I was where I was living then, but either Boulder or I don't know where. But anyhow, I met him in Boston, and he has a place that repairs his cello. And he said, why don't we meet there?
Uh-huh.
And they had kind of a waiting room that was beautifully lit. And he lays down on the sofa there, and we take these pictures. And then we do some pictures with a mirror. And then we go in where they repair the instruments. And the work table is so interesting. I just have him lay his head down there, and I shot him from above.
Yeah. His head,
And I mean,
work.
he's beautiful.
Examined.
He's beautiful, and I'm just really comfortable playing. I'm just playing with the people, and I don't know what I'm after, except I'm after trying to find that place that we're connected.
Mm-hmm.
And this sounds so corny. I'm really corny, but when I photograph, almost everyone I photograph, I set my intention at the beginning of the shoot.
Yeah.
And I say, our goal is putting love out in the world.
Uh-huh.
That's the main thing that we have to think about. We don't have to think about the light. We don't have to think about the composition. We don't have to think about your hair and makeup or what you're wearing. Like, our main goal is putting love out in the world. All the other things we will do a good job with, but putting love out in the world is what I try to do every day. And I try and do it in everything that I do. I try and do it when I'm driving my kids to school. I try and do it when I'm making breakfast or dinner or meeting with the people. I have these incredible people that I get to work with every day, and with them, certainly with my wife, Steffi,
Is this Steffi?
Yes, she's on.
Hi, Steffi. She's in the library, right? I'm looking at there.
No, that is a pretty famous photographer named Annie Liebowitz.
Oh, not pretty. Very.
Very, very. And I photographed her, or not photographed her, I worked with her for a year after college.
Oh,
and I was with her the last 6 months at Rolling Stone and the first 6 months of Vanity Fair, when she became the photographer at Vanity Fair. And I had never worked with lights or color or medium format or anything. Yeah. And I feel like what I learned from her was rhythm. There was a certain rhythm.
How did you get to, when you knew her, was she famous yet?
She was famous in my mind.
So
she was a big hero.
Is she? So what's her like? Like, are your style similar? Like, does she talk to her subject when she do? Her work obviously is very artsy, very sometimes provocative, I guess. And how is her style compared to yours?
Wow. Well, just the word style. I think Annie's pictures are styled much more than mine are. And she, especially now, has a much, much bigger production. Sometimes I do my shoots by myself, sometimes one assistant, sometimes a hair and makeup person, but a relatively small crew. Annie's shoots, there are, 20 people there, doing lots of lighting, lots of things going on. But Annie grew out of a more journalistic approach. Mm-hmm. Annie does a lot of research and a lot of thinking before the shoot. And I feel like a lot goes on before the shoot with Annie, whereas my shoots, like, all of it happens live. Mm-hmm. And I'm not as interested in what people do as who they are. So if I'm photographing Yo-Yo Ma, I'm not reading his music necessarily before I photograph, or listening to his music. I'm not reading about him so much. I'm wanting to have an experience where I'm almost finding out about him for the first time. I used to do the ads for the Seinfeld show, and I'd never seen an episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Now, this picture, right? Is that a friend? Is it the production of Friends?
No, this is Will and Grace.
Oh, sorry, Will Grace.
And I've never seen an episode of that either, but I did the ads for the last season when they were on the air.
Wow. That's so cool. That's so cool. And then this
And
group.
here's the Seinfeld cast.
Yeah.
I did the ads for the Seinfeld cast, and this is this crazy picture with these live pigeons, and
Are
we
they
put some
live?
feathers.
How'd you get them?
Well, they have animal handlers for any kind of animal in Hollywood. So we must have hired pigeon handlers.
Wow. Wow. So how difficult or easy to shoot these picture, right? Some of them you're being hired, and then to have a book. What is the process of getting a release?
Wow, that's hard. I mean, if the subject is inside of the book, if they aren't promoting it, if they aren't on the cover, I can use their image, except if it is a minor or if I own the copyright of the picture, I can use it inside the book. If I don't own the copyright, if I put them on the cover, then I definitely need a release.
So it's not an issue for you to get all the clearance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just thinking, wow, that's like so many sort of
celebrities. No, it would actually be impossible. Like the cast of Seinfeld, what it would take for all of them to sign off on it, and then legal to sign off and everything. I mean, if I wanted to put them on the cover, it would be impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. So I wanted to thank our audience again. If you have any questions, please type it in the chat section. And yeah, we have about 15 minutes left. Now, so tell us a little bit when you shoot, right? When you have a assignment and you like to do more or less improvisation type of it, you talk to your subject and you make them feel comfortable, I guess, right?
Right.
And
right.
so tell us more about, are you always like that? Or this is something, the more you do it, the more you become sort of a, this very free style of shooting?
It's the way I've always been, in the way that I approach everything. I mean, it's a very extroverted process, and I still don't consider myself that much of an extrovert, although I'm very comfortable with strangers. So but I don't put myself in big social situations that much otherwise. I just love meeting new people. I love being surprised. I love finding out things I didn't know. I'm not interested in going to a shooting and using the same light every time. I know that light. I'm not interested in like creating a similar experience or having one thing and just changing the people in there. I like where I go into situations and I learn things. I mean, I'm just trying to learn new things every day. And so when you take pictures, in some ways, the least interesting way to take a picture, the least important thing is your eyes. It's your ears. What does it sound like? What does it smell like? What ideas are being shared? What does it feel like?
Mm.
And I'm also, I am on a mission. I do feel like we are all good people. Lots of stuff gets in the way, but I feel like we're good people, and I want to photograph your goodness. And I want to photograph what makes you special. And I want to photograph the gift that we all are to the world. And that's what I try and share. So that's what's going through my mind, and that's what's going through the process. I mean, my process is built around that kind of exploration and that kind of give and take. And I really need to, when I'm taking pictures, pay attention to both what my experience, but also things that are happening that I never imagined before.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. So now with so many projects going on and book and that. So you have a team, right? Work for you.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Because in order for me to take these kind of pictures, I have to be a fairly free thinker, and I'm living in this creative world, and you need people that are really good and really grounded to say, it's great that you have all these ideas, but we have to stick to these two. And it's great that you're so excited about this, but this is what has to get done today. And all those practical things. And Becky, who works with me, she's very good at keeping our message really clear and really getting to the root. She was very helpful in creating the book. And Nicole is just fantastic. She helps with production. She helps with contextualizing what we do sometimes, because we'll be out there. Okay, we're doing these pictures. What are these peaches? What are these pictures about? Where do they fit in? How do things connect with each other? She's really, and they're both really just lovely people to work with.
Yeah, you're very lucky. You're very lucky. Not every artist can have that kind of support, right? So you're very lucky. So if you don't mind, last time when I was in your studio, your wife was very helpful, and she actually shot almost half of that video we showed. And so she's an artist herself. Can you tell us a little bit about her?
Okay, Steffi is extraordinary. First of all, just as the person I wake up with and go to sleep with and get to spend each day with, it's beyond. It's the greatest joy I know. Every day. But she's also incredibly talented, and Steffi will look at a blank canvas and just attack it. She works in all kinds of materials. She'll work in clothing. She will work in three-dimensional things. She'll work with pencils. She'll work with paint. But when we do things together, when we create together, that's the most fun. Like, we'll just be bouncing ideas back and forth. And I joke a lot that Steffi's always right, but her ideas are just always so inspired. And Steffi wakes up each day looking for what can make that day really special. And I can wake up, oh, we're having this issue with money, or, oh, this person said this, or whatever. And Steffi says, we aren't going there. Like, we are together, we are in love, we are healthy, we have this day to do something incredible. Aww. And that's who I get to be with every day. I could every day. I mean, she is just a gift to the world, and I get to be with her every day. But she's also, her creative energy is where all of these things that she does on a practical level go to a whole other place that is just, it's magical.
Wow. Bless you. Wow. That's so wonderful when you and your partner, not only your partner, but also artistically, right? And also creation. In your creation, you are sort of in the one sync, and then, right?
So it's wild. And now that we've been together 20 years, like even this morning, I was just about to say something, but it came out of Steffi's mouth. Like, we're like, like the ideas synchronize really well. But she, not to plug the Kickstarter, but there's a level where you get this box, and we really created it together, but it's really Steffi's design and Steffi's brilliance. Last year, she does a cleanse at the beginning of the year. She will cut out caffeine and sugar and wake up and meditate every morning. And she really likes to set her year off to a good start. I couldn't do that, but I decided I was going to go 40 days without looking at the news. So for 40 days, nothing online, nothing in print, no podcasts about news, nothing. And Steffi came up with the idea
that she would do a collage every day, taking the front page of the newspaper and covering it with one of my pictures. So you couldn't read any of it, but you saw the date, you saw that it was the newspaper. And then she would manipulate my pictures in ways that you would see the new, like different words in different ways. It's completely brilliant. The first day, she took eyes from all these different shootings of mine and put them over the news. So it was a collage of eyes, but they were all from pictures I had done. And she would disappear at 10 o'clock at night. And the next morning I would see this collage, and it was wild. It was wild. So we're doing this box that we came up with that's going to come with one of the t-shirts. And the t-shirts that she does now, they have this label that she designed that's all signed and numbered. It has an image that you get to pick out. And there's random eyes that she just puts all over the place.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys are so creative. By the way, we have ASHER, Asher between. Between.
By the way, maybe.
By the way, oh yeah, I am so excited for the book. So,
Asher is also related to me.
Oh.
He's my 12-year-old son.
Hi, son.
So
that's funny. Nice. Yeah.
Asher was wearing a shirt today. He took a head shot from one of my pictures and blew it up huge and put it on a t-shirt.
Oh.
That he was wearing. So he's in on the game too.
Yeah.
The family business.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Asher, for shouting out for your dad. And yeah, so we have about less than 5 minutes left. Do you have anything you would like to mention before we close? And I would like to do a rapid fire with you.
Well, first of all, on the Instagram, I'm George.Lange, Lange.
Oh, really? Oh.
So that's where we're doing most of our.
This one, you see it. It's scrolling right now.
Yes. There we go.
That's your Instagram. Yeah.
Okay, Ching, hit me.
Yeah. Hit you, right? Do you have a last word? Last word for this. Do you have a last words for this session? Like conclusion?
Yes. Everything I do is sharing joy. That's what I'm trying to do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My last word is thank you, George, for being with me today. It's so much fun. And, since the beginning of I met you, I said, let's do a talk. And then it's just good delay. So thank you so much. And I want to thank our audience being with us and spend a nice sunny Sunday afternoon with us. And please, if you like this channel, please subscribe to Juhl Media. I do this interview every week. And sometimes twice. And what else? Oh, yeah. I shamelessly plug one thing is I made a documentary with my iPhone 11. Now it's on Amazon Prime. It's called My Young Gun Diary. So when you get a chance, please watch my film. All right. So rapid fire.
Ching, thanks so much.
Yeah. Rapid fire.
Okay.
All right. Favorite color?
Yellow.
What is your favorite food genre?
Food genre, I am really into Japanese breakfast bowls.
Wow, I don't even know what is a breakfast bowls. You must travel to many places. Any country you wanted to revisit just for fun?
Wow. I'm going to sidestep this one and say that I always feel like it's the journey rather than the destination. So anytime that I can travel with my family, especially or Steffi, I'm really happy.
Oh, it's so sweet. Are you a water person or are you a mountain person?
I'd say mountain.
Mountain, yeah. Any book you think people can benefit for learning how to photograph?
Wow. I'm reading this book that Rick Rubin just did, the record producer, called The Creative Way. And it talks about appreciating how everything you do in your life can be creative. That's really helpful.
Awesome. What's your favorite junk food?
Wow, these are hard. Milkshakes.
Milkshakes? That's not too junky.
Oh,
Okay. Do you know how to use chopstick?
yes.
Good. I'll take you out.
Or
Let's
noodle
see.
soup.
Noodle. Gin.
That's trickier.
Oh yeah, ramen noodles.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite TV show right now? Is going on?
On HBO, there's a show called Painting with John. That's John Laurie. And it is
Oh,
absolutely, I think it's brilliant. I think it's a crazy meditation on creativity. And I love the music and I love him.
wow. I'll check it out. Look who's here. Look who's here. Look.
Hey, Sean! Sean's here.
Yeah, Sean, thank you. I think he has rehearsal today, that's why he's late. Yeah, what else? If you would oh, that's a stupid question. I was gonna say, if you would win $20 million, how would you spend it?
I would really love to be traveling more. I would love to be traveling more. And I would give a lot of it away, actually. I don't need $20 million.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Oh, there's
One,
Steffi.
yeah, Stephanie. Stephanie, take all. And yeah, if okay, one last question. If you have a chance to have dinner with three persons, separate, okay, live or dead, who would you pick?
Wow. The first person that came to my mind was a photographer from the early to mid part of the 20th century, August Sonder, a German photographer who I love his work. Oh, I would love to pick one jazz musician. Maybe Charles Mingus. No, Thelonious Monk. Thelonious Monk. I don't know if it would be an interesting conversation, but I would like to meet him. Or Ella Fitzgerald. How about that? That would be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
And who else? And then, there's a photographer who grew up in Pittsburgh who I heard speak when I was in college. And I went to hear him at MIT and I recorded him on a little cassette recorder. And I went back to school and I transcribed the entire talk, and he talked very fast and the recording wasn't good. And it took me a week to transcribe this talk, and it became my creative Bible. And it turns out that he grew up in Pittsburgh, but has lived in New York for 50 years. He's now 91.
Wow.
And I would run into him in New York and he'd say, George, call me. I'm in the phone book. And I'd say, I can't call you. You're Duane Michals. He was such a hero to me. And in the last several years, we've become friendly, and he is, and we've had dinner quite a number of times. And every time I'm with him, it's a real revelation.
Wow, that's beautiful. So sometimes all we need is just one kind of inspiration, right? And if you follow that, sometimes happens, right?
But the trick is we're so afraid to call, we can't call that person, or we can't, we're too intimidated. And I spent my adult life being intimidated by Duane Michals. And then when I reached out, he couldn't have been more supportive and kind and generous
Yeah.
and validating, like just extraordinary. I see the question. I'm not that into equipment really, but I use a Canon R5, which is the first professional mirrorless camera that Canon's made, and it's changed my world. It's an extraordinary camera. They have one feature where when you're walking towards me, it can lock into your eye and hold the focus, and just that feature. But the quality of this camera is like off the charts, and it replaced medium format. I used to use medium format before, and I used Leica, and I used lots of other things, but the Canon R5 is just extraordinary.
Wow. Do you ever use smartphone to shoot? Smartphone?
Yes, but I'm not as good as you. We shot a video 2 days ago and it's so contrasting. It's like, what's the problem here? I shoot, with my smartphone all the time, but I rarely include those in the work that I share.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe behind the scenes.
Yeah. So maybe when I visit Pittsburgh again, maybe we could do some more shooting, because you're right. You said the audio is a little, not very good. The 4-minute thing.
Right.
Yeah, but the video is not bad, and the
No,
audio,
it's
we
great.
really need the live view, and because the background is pretty noisy, right? That
Right.
4-minute thing. But yeah, but there's a saying, audio is more important than video.
That's right.
So when audio is not
That's right.
perfect, but it's a casual.
So I have a
thing.
question for you. So when we take pictures again, and you're going to be eating a fruit for me, which fruit will it be?
Peach.
We've done peach. We have to get another fruit.
Oh, another fruit. Oh. How about a difficult one? What's the fruit? You open it, it's all red thing inside, a small seeds inside. What do you call that?
Oh, I know what you mean, but I don't know what it's called.
It's a red thing. You cut it, and then inside it's all, so you just have to, it's very messy.
Okay, so for the people that follow you, there will be a picture of Ching with this fruit that we can't name, but we will have ready.
It was funny. Oh, Sean says it's called pomegranate.
Oh, pomegranate. Oh, yeah. We can do that.
Yeah.
That is messy.
Yeah.
That'll be a messy shoot. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Sean's asking you, are you outside right now? Isn't it raining?
Yes, and it started to rain. I'm about an hour north of Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
and it started to rain, and I started to feel it, then it stopped.
Yeah, I hear a little.
Should we show them where we are?
Sure. Your country's home. No, I'm just kidding. He's very rich.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Oh, it's raining on my computer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're on a little park, right?
Yes.
You don't own it. Just make sure.
No.
People say, we're not giving him money. He's too rich.
Oh, that's so funny. People have this idea of how much money people have, and
yeah.
I don't think it's right a lot of the time.
No, it's not right.
If I was rich, I don't think I'd be doing a Kickstarter for the book.
No,
right?
No, probably not. Yeah, but I wish you all the luck. Yeah, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Ching Juhl, pitch in, okay, Ching Juhl. So yeah, I think we need to end this session. Steffi said if we own it, we couldn't need a case. That's true. But how come I spell Steffi's name differently? Because you told me differently, so I put it on a video. I hope.
No. I think that you spelled it right.
Oh, okay. This one is
good.
All right. So, thank you so much for talking with me. Hug.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. So check George's work. It's pretty spectacular, and we can talk forever. But maybe until next time. Yeah. So
thanks.
Take care, and thank you, audience. Thank you, George. Thank you, everybody listening and not writing. I know there's a lot of people are listening, actually. Okay. Have a great week. Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care. I'm going to end. Bye.